My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I take you back in time to learn from the past, to build a better bridge to the future, inshallah. Zayn al-Abidin, rahmatullahi alayhi wa radiyallahu an ahli al-bayt athar ajma'een. He used to do things in secret. He used to carry the food to feed the poor at night time where no one else sees him. You know how they knew that? Because after he died, it was cut off. And they found the dark line on his back from the areas where he used to carry. So do you have a secret between you and Allah? Or is your secret full of that closet sins? Isn't it time for us to open up that closet and cleanse ourselves from the secret sins? You shouldn't be afraid. وَالَّذِينَ أَتُونَ مَا أَتَوْا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ وَجِلَةٌ. Those who come, the verse says interpretation. Those who come, whatever they've done, if they acted upon their deeds and their hearts are trembling, they're afraid. So Aisha radiallahu anha, his wife, asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, says, are these the people who fornicate, lie and steal? He says, no. These are the people actually who have prayed, have fasted, given zakah, performed hajj, but they're afraid that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept because there's not sincere, done it for somebody else. Imagine. It says, wara', even leaving some of the halal, some of what's lawful, fearing it's haram. Levels, they are levels. Hum darajatun inda Allah, they are ranks in the sight of Allah. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today we will start at the end. I want you to imagine the day you were born and how to compare between life and death. You'll see the similarity. The reason I'm taking you to the end is to know how important the beginning is. So the day you were born, you came in and the nurse gave you a bath. Similarly, the day you'll die, you will be given a ghusl, a bath. The day you came in, after the nurse gave you a shower, they actually cover you with a blanket. Similarly, on the way out, after you're given the ghusl, you're putting on your shroud, your coffin. The day you came in, people smiled, they laughed, rejoiced the occasion of your arrival. The day you walk out, people will be crying. If you notice, your whole life you work to obtain things. You have a certificate and you're proud of it. I bought this car. I bought this house. And the most proud moment of your life, a certificate that you actually put on the wall. I got my PhD. And you place it in a frame. But the most important certificate you will ever get, you will never see. It's your death certificate. So you think, what will I get this certificate on Judgment Day with my right hand side and say, Ha umuqra'u kitabiya? Here, read my book. I knew I was going to meet Allah. I wanted to go to heaven. I've worked for it. I earned it by the mercy of Allah first and foremost, of course. Or you will get your book with the left hand side. You say, Ya laytani lam uta kitabiya. Ya laytaha kanat al-qadiya. Oh, I wish I never got my book. I wish I died, I never was resurrected again. The choice is up to you. We'll go back to that day. But now that I have your attention, let's find out how to get there. The topic is, let your secret life be better than your public life. So let's be honest. Very few amongst us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed them with something called al-muraqabah. Those who are actually aware and conscious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala muttali'un alay, Allahu nadhirun ilay. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can see me anytime. Allah is watching over me. Secret is simple. Since we come here to learn, not just be entertained, from now on, every one of us, including this poor slave of Allah first and foremost, wallahi, we should always think that your eyes are like camera lenses. Your ears and your mouth are like your MP3. Your mind is your modem and your heart is your hard drive. Everything you see is recorded. Everything you hear and say is downloaded. Everything you touched, everything you walked to, everything you pondered and reflected upon. The catch is, this DVD, in this dunya, in this life, you can hide it, you can put it in a drawer. Your parents won't even know about it. But unfortunately, or fortunately, everything that you've seen, said, heard, touched, walked to, everything is recorded, but it will be uploaded on Judgment Day. And you cannot hide this DVD from anyone. Ala ru'us al-ashhad means that day where it's 50,000 years, where the sun leaves its orbit, comes close to our heads, where people are going to be drenched in the sweat. Everybody will say, nafsi, nafsi, myself, myself. Even prophets and messengers will say the same, except one, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ana laha, I am for it, I am for it. From Adam alayhi salam, from Adam, may peace be upon him, the last man that walks on the face of the earth, everybody would be resurrected. Unclothed. No hole to run into, no mountain to hide behind. You will hear your name. Ayna fulan ibn fulan. Where is So, the son of So? Halumma lil arda ala al-jabbar. Come here, stand before me. You will get 99 files. Every file as far as your eyesight can see. ما لهذا الكتاب لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها ووجدوا ما عملوا حاضرا ولا يظلم ربك أحدا. In the 99 files, and every file as far as your eyesight can see, Everything is written, minor or major. Now I want to ask you the same question. On that DVD of your life, will you be proud of it or ashamed of it? You will get wishes. قال رب ارجعون لعلي أعمل صالحا فيما تركت كلا إنها كلمة هو قائلها ومن ورائهم برزخ إلى يوم يبعثون. You will say, Ya Allah, I've seen the truth. I've seen there is heaven. I've seen there is hell. I've seen the angels descend. I now know that I will be held accountable. Take me back to this life so I can do well. I know the truth. ليس بعد العين أين. After you see it, nobody can describe it to you. You've seen it, you've been there, done that. But will you be granted that wish? No. Another wish you will get. You will say, Malik, Khazin al-Nar, the guardian of the hellfire. فَلْيَقْضِي عَلَيْنَا رَبُّكَ وَلْيَقْضِي عَلَيْنَا رَبُّكَ. Khalas, let Allah kill us. We don't want to feel any more pain. Will you be granted that wish? No. أَفِيضُوا عَلَيْنَا بعض من الماء. Just give us some water, man. Put out this fire. No. فَلْيُخَفِّفْ عَنَّا يَوْمٍ الْعَذَابِ. Okay, we committed a union and we want 1 day off, man. 7 days? Too much. 1 day. يوم من العذاب. Just take 1 day off. No. You know what the scholars say? How much would you pay to be alleviated from the punishment of the hellfire and attain Jannah on that day? Or, how much would you pay to be able to come back to this life, to do well, to let your secret life be better than your public life, to be among those who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He promised, أَلَّا يَجْمَعْ خَوْفَيْنِ أَوْ أَمْنَيْنِ. Allah on His abd, on His slave, He will never have two of the same. You either fear Him or love Him, or have secured that He doesn't do much for you, you don't fear Him. مَنْ خَافَنِي فِي الدُّنْيَا أَمَّنْتَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ. But if you have that conscious, you're God fearing in this life, Allah will save you on Judgment Day. He will make you secure. You will not be afraid on that day. But if you're not here, you will be there. But you will not combine two of the same in this life and the hereafter. Choice is up to you. وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. If you're God fearing, you're conscious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees you, hears you, and so on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, not one Jannah, Jannatan. Not one heaven, it's in dual. Because you will inherit. You understand that everyone is created and born. You have a place in heaven and you have a place in the hell. You do good, your name list is off the hellfire and your name is on the heaven. No one knows on the names. It's a secret list. How to get there is not easy. Man khafa adlaj. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Man khafa adlaj, safara bil-layl. So if you're actually conscious of that day, if you want to be saved from the hellfire and attain Jannah, you have to have some work. Nighttime where everybody else is with their lover, as we mentioned, you stay up with Allah. عجبت للنار كيف نام هاربها وعجبت للجنة كيف نام طالبها. I wonder, how do people know that the hellfire exists, and you sleep all night? And I wonder how you want to attain Jannah and you sleep all night. You understand that if you wanted the house that you live in Norway, You worked part-time or full-time or even double-time all the time for a brick and some wood and some drywall. But you don't want to work for a house that's made of a brick of silver and a brick of gold, eternal life, eternal pleasure. Never die again, never work again, never tax again, never get ill again, never cry again, never be sad again. So Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, ألا من مشمر للجنة ألا إن سلعة الله غالية ألا إن سلعة الله هي الجنة. Where are those who are going to roll their sleeves up for Jannah? Where are those who want to attain Jannah? Indeed, the merchandise of Allah or the commodity of Allah is expensive. It is Jannah. It's heaven. Eternal bliss. So if you want something, you work for it. But this muraqabah is most difficult, wallahi. To be conscious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees you all the time. He's aware what you do. He's basir, sami', alim, ma'i, al-ma'iyya, ma'akum aynama kuntum. Wa'lamu anna Allah, know for sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and sees. Fahdharu, be conscious, be aware. So you think about the asma al-husna, the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa jalla fi'ula, and implement it. Now the homework. Al-muraqaba, this supervision, watching, being conscious, the ulama say, be conscious of Allah fil khawatir. You know what that means? Al-muraqaba fil khawatir. Even about the thoughts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ya'asimuka fil harakati wal dhawahir. The scholars, they say, if you are conscious of Allah subhanahu wa jalla fi'ula, even if your thoughts, you know, you train your thoughts, you imagine things. Let me speak your language. Because I don't know, I speak. So just imagine. Oh, you know what? Don't imagine. Because you're going to go there. But you understand what I'm talking about. You imagine, all right, who takes planes? Anybody travel before? Okay. Now you've taken a plane to see significant other. And you take your picture out. I can hardly wait for you, baby. You know, and you start planning in your mind. I'm going to meet her, I'm going to see this, I'm going to do this, and and I've written the poem for her, and I got the flowers, I got the chocolate, yeah, I got whatever you guys are like, I know. Then all of a sudden, you're planning and you're thinking all that stuff, you're dreaming, you're fantasizing about all that, and all of a sudden, air turbulence. Boom. You see my heart, man? I got my heart is looking so. All of a sudden, you're looking at this girl, you're fantasizing, Tubna ilallah. Then you put it away, okay, Ya Rab, if I make it safe, I'm donating $100,000. I just want to be alive when we land. And then it gets a little better. Okay, Ya Rab, that $50,000 I was talking about. And then it's now smooth and you're landing. You know that $25 I was talking about, I'll give it right away. Okay, here you go. Here's 25 cents. And when I get back to you, the rest is coming in the mail. That's what happens. Is that right, brothers? Now, when you're all alone, remember that door, man? Now you hear your parents going to sleep. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Fatima. We'll see you in the morning, inshallah. Then you hear tip, 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 tip. Footsteps are going in. Door closed. Now you're all alone again. You close your own door. Make sure nobody's around. And then you open the gate of heavens according to you. Laptop. It's my time. I'm the man. Who the man? You the man. And then you start chatting with the significant other from another mother. Hey baby, how you doing? Did I ever tell you how much I love you? What are you wearing tomorrow? I just want to match because baby, we're made in heaven. We're a couple, mama. And you start getting all these lines that you know more than I. And all of a sudden, the door opens. It's your father. Luke, I'm your father. What happens, man? Instead of, hey baby, how you doing? I miss you so much. I'm going to see you tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Yes, Brother Muhammad, we'll talk about tajweed tomorrow in the halaqah when we read the Quran together, inshallah, in the masjid. Sure. So you really think that your secret life is better than your public life? So in the masjid you act like Abu Bakr, but at home you act like Abu Jahl. Is that what it is, my man? La wallahi. So you understand now some of the beautiful stories to understand how to make your secret life better than your public life. How to make ithar bima anzal Allah. What comes first? Not your whims and desires. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and what Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, تُعَظِّم مَا عَظَّمَ اللَّهُ وَتُصَغِّرْ مَا صَغَّرَ اللَّهُ. What Allah made grave, it's grave in your life. And it's minor in your life. إِنْ أَرَدْتَ أَن تَعْرَفْ مَقَامَكَ فَانْظُرْ فِي مَا أَقَامَكَ. If you want to know where you stand with Allah, where does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala place you? To play, to gamble, to drink alcohol, to fornicate, to work and or He placed you in a place where you can actually be a torchbearer, guide others, to be an example. Can I give you another example? If you're at home all alone, watching whatever it is, or even have a party with your friends, or doing whatever it is that you want, and you hear a knock, just imagine, I'm just saying just imagine, of course it's not gonna. It's Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is coming. As if it's Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What will you do? Wait, hold on 1 second. Put out the drinks, turn off these things. Okay, instead of things change. Change this. Oh, put the hair down. What is that? You know that you have a hairstyle that like somebody lied on your head, right? And then you have these earrings. Take the earrings out. And now the brothers, you know what? They have different styles now. They have the brothers that used to wear it so wide, right? The pants so wide, and they hang it down half of their whatever it is, the things they're showing. You go, my brother, what happened, man? Why are your pants too wide? You can put another brother next to you. Yeah, suhba, ya akhi, company. I want the righteous people next to me. Allah help you, Allah. Now it's too tight, like it's painted on. You know, the brother speaks like this, and all of a sudden he put the pants on. They speak like this. What happened, man? You know, by the time you want to take your pants off, hey, brother Mo, brother Lo, brother Susu, Mimi, Tutu, Fifi, Lulu. What? You put your legs up and pull, just to take your pants out. What happened, man? What happened, dude? Do you think Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will know that you're from his ummah? Do you think on Judgment Day he will say, that's my ummah, ummati, ya Rabb, ummati, my nation, my people, my followers, those who submitted to you? Or will he say, suhqan, suhqan liman baddala wa ghayyar? Get away from me, I know you're not. You changed and exchanged. Do you understand? There's a price to pay, akhi and ukhti. And it's not going to be easy, wallahi. No one will lie to you and say it's going to be easy. It's not. But I have a much bigger fish to fry. I have a bigger goal. I want to live eternally happy ever after. I want to live in a brick of silver and a brick of gold, where the angels going to be the ones that give me a beautiful letter from Allah. Abdi ishtaqtu ilayka fazurni, my slave, I missed you, come and visit me. I want to see my slaves to be like pearls. I want to be looking 70 times better, more beautiful than the Hur al-Ain. Okay, let's not talk about politics because the sisters don't want to hear about the Hur al-Ain. But you know, Ukhti, you'll be Sayyidat al-Qasr. You'll be the lady of the castle. They'll be your servants. Amazing. لَهُمْ مَا يَشَاءُونَ فِيهَا وَلَدَيْنَا مَزِيدٌ. We have everything they ever wish for, and we have some more. How could it be possible that I do not want to have this deal? Now look at some of the people that used to do and work toward it. So another thing to learn before I go into the stories. Let us hide our good deeds like we do our best to hide our evil deeds. Most of us don't want to be exposed. So we have to have a secret between us and Allah. Could I give you an example? If you know that if you go into a shop and you know that it has cameras all over the shop, will you steal? It actually tells you, listen, that the camera surveillance are all over the place and shoplifters will be persecuted. And even if you do, you're supposed to be among the honorable society, and all of a sudden on the way out, you're caught. Now your parents are going to know, man, I'm in trouble. I'm exposed. People used to think I'm a righteous man, then really they will know the truth about me. If you're afraid of something that is so minor in this life, how could you not be afraid of that day where everybody else will know your true colors? Do you understand why muraqabah is such an important task? Extremely important for you to know that when you're all alone, and you really know the taqwa is when you're all alone. Whether you have taqwa or not, when you're all alone. Don't kid yourself. And that's why taqwa, this consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is one of the most important of all. If you go to the Quran, you'll find out that taqwa is the one that actually will save you from the hellfire. وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا كَانَ عَلَى رَبِّكَ حَتْمًا مَقْضِيًّا. Everyone will go over the hellfire. Everyone will pass over it. ثُمَّ نُنَجِّي الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا وَنَذَرُ الظَّالِمِينَ فِيهَا جِثِيًّا. We will save those who had taqwa, they were conscious of me when they're all alone. And those who oppress themselves by their actions and deeds, they will fall therein. And that's why Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he was asked by Jibreel on the hadith of says, what is Islam? He explained the 5 pillars. What is Iman? He explained the 6 articles. But what we're talking about today is what is Ihsan. That's a lesson learned. What is Ihsan? The high level of benevolence of doing righteous deeds, perfecting them. He says, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. That you should worship Allah as if He sees you. And indeed, if He doesn't see you, He sees you. If you don't see Him, to worship Allah as if you see Him. And if you don't see Him, indeed He sees you. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I take you back in time to learn from the past, to build a better bridge to the future, inshallah. Zayn al-Abidin, rahmatullahi alayhi wa radiyallahu an ahli al-bayt athar ajma'in. He used to do things in secret. He used to carry the food to feed the poor at night time where no one else sees him. You know how they knew that? Is after he died, it was cut off. And they found the dark line on his back from the areas where he used to carry. So do you have a secret between you and Allah? Or is your secret full of that closet sins? Isn't it time for us to open up that closet and cleanse ourselves from the secret sins? You shouldn't be afraid. وَالَّذِينَ يَأْتُونَ مَا أَتَوا وَقُلُوبُهُمْ وَجِلَةٌ. Those who come, the verse says, interpretation. Those who come, whatever they've done, if they acted upon their deeds and their hearts are trembling. They're afraid. So Aisha radiallahu anha, his wife, asked Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, says, are these the people who fornicate, lie and steal? He says, no. These are the people actually who have prayed, have fasted, have given zakah, performed hajj. But they're afraid that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept because there's not sincere, have done it for somebody else. Imagine. It says, wara', even leaving some of the halal, some of what's lawful, fearing it's haram. Levels, they are levels. Hum darajatun inda Allah, they are ranks in the sight of Allah. Go back to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. When he was Khalifa to Rasulullah, he was in charge of the ummah, of all Muslims in the world. After Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him. Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu followed him one day. I want to see what he does. So he followed him, knocks on the door. An old lady that is blind opens the door. Abu Bakr Siddiq goes in and comes out. So Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu knocks on the door. Who was that man? And what was he doing here? He was talking about Abu Bakr Siddiq. He was the Khalifa. He was the head of the states of all Muslims in the world. You can understand. The highest level ever, according to the worldly means, in the disposition and status. Says, who was this man? And what was he doing here? He says, wallahi, I don't know this man. He didn't tell me who he was, but he comes in to clean my house, he runs my errands, he gets me the groceries I want to, he cooks for me, he does everything I ask for, turns and walks away, and doesn't tell me who he is, and what does he do? Allah, don't you get goosebumps, akhi? Wallahi, where are these mountains from us? Okay, let me give you an example. You do something, right, akhi? You do something for somebody. Here's my business card. Vote for me. I'm going to give this donation, but you got to support my business. Subhanallah, ajib. Remember, they're not after this dunya, they're after something much bigger, much greater. Now, Umar al-Khattab himself, going to Jerusalem to get the keys. He was Amir al-Mu'mineen after him. You know what Umar said about Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu? He is, أَتْعَبْتَ الَّذِي مِنْ خَلْفِكَ يَا أَبَا بَكْرِ. You made it very difficult for those who are going to follow you, Ya Abu Bakr. How do you beat that? Umar radiallahu anhu is now getting the keys of Jerusalem. So he has one of his servants, young man, and he has one camel to go to Jerusalem. So he divided the distance in three. 1/3 I ride, 1/3 we give a break to the camel, 1/3 the young boy rides. The time just to go to Jerusalem, it was the time for that young boy to ride. Says, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, you are our leader, you should be riding. He says, no, it's your turn. He had 17 holes in his thobe. He could have been the richest man. He sleeps under a tree. So Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu says, حَكَمْتَ فَعَدَلْتَ فَاسْتَرَحْتَ فَنِمْتَ. He says, you ruled, you were fair and just, so you're at ease, that you went to sleep. Now you understand, there's a beautiful story about 3 men that traveled and they got stuck. A storm came in, they went to a cave, and the cave was closed, was sealed by a stone. So they asked Allah to alleviate the hardship. They said to each other, remember something, mention something that you did for the sake of Allah on your own. One said, Ya Allah, I had parents and I never fed my children before I fed my parents. But my parents, one night they went to sleep and I couldn't feed them before they went to sleep. And I had that beautiful fresh milk with me. and my children are actually grabbing me, crying of hunger. I stayed up all night waiting for my parents to wake up so I can quench the thirst before I quench the thirst of my own children. Oh Allah, if I've done this for your sake, alleviate the hardship. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala moved the rock, but it wasn't enough for them to get away. The second one, he says, Ya Allah, I had people work for me. I've paid them off except one man. I saved his salary, invested his salary. He came back one day, asked for it. I says, do you see this valley full of cattle? It's yours. He's, you're making fun of me? He says, no, this is all yours. Oh Allah, if I'd done this for your sake, alleviate the hardship. The rock moved again, is not enough. The third one says, Ya Allah, I had a beautiful woman that I wanted, but she refused to marry me. One day she comes in because she needed money. She says, I need your help. He says, I will give you the money, but let me have my way with you. Just close all the doors. I did. Close all the windows. I did. He says, who else sees this? He says, only the stars. He says, where the creator of the stars? I said that you are free. Here's the money. If I'd done that for your sake, alleviate the hardship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala moved what it is. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, do you have a secret between you and Allah? I remember a true story, wallahi. I remember long time ago, where this poor slave of Allah I remember who I used to hang around with. And one day, I went to the hospital. I stayed for 2 months. And I've seen a man die next to me in bed. I went back and I wanted to perform Umrah. I don't even know how to perform the Umrah. I didn't know much about Islam. So I take a plane, we go to Medina on my own. And then a man next to me, he's asking me, where are you going? I says, I don't know. Where are you staying? I said, I don't know. He says, you're staying with me. He says, who's picking you up? I said, nobody. I'll drive you there. He says, are you married? I said, no. He says, I have a daughter. I went back, and then a friend took me to the masjid. As if I'm hearing it for the first time. I was invited to what they call a Muslim wedding. Never been to one. He says, what is a Muslim wedding? Just like a ra'asa muhajjaba yani? Is the belly dancer wearing a hijab? Is this a Muslim wedding? Is this what you're talking about? So I went, I saw a beautiful sight, wallahi. The brothers were on their own, the sisters were on their own. The brothers put their hand in their pocket and they took out a mushaf, Quran. They raised it. I opened it and they said this beautiful nasheed. Turning point in this poor slave of Allah's life, wallahi. And I hope it will change your life too. They said, Allahu ghayatuna, Allahu ghayatuna, wa rasuluna za'imuna rasuluna, qudwatuna, Qur'anuna dusturuna, Qur'anuna dusturuna, Qur'anuna شرعتنا جهادنا سبيلنا جهادنا سبيلنا والموت في سبيل الله أسمى أمانينا أسمى أمانينا. Says Qur'anuna dusturuna. This Qur'an was our text, our methodology, our way of life. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is our role model. Our jihad, striving for the sake of Allah, to even strive our own whims and desires, our lusts, is our way of life, our path to Jannah, a path to stay away from the hellfire. Now you understand, my dear brothers and sisters, at that time I was wondering who I used to hang around with and who I'm hanging around with now. What I used to hear before and what I'm hearing now. What I used to see before and what I see now. So you have to change. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُغَيِّرُ مَا بِقَوْمٍ حَتَّى يُغَيِّرُوا مَا بِأَنفُسِهِمْ. Allah will not change unless you want to change within yourself. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, this muraqabah is your key. Your key to a door that opens anything you wish. If that offer is giving, how could you turn it down? In the muraqabah, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the scholars say, if you know that Allah subhanahu jalla fi'ula is with you, that sees you, He says you will never want to waste a second in your life. Ibn Taymiyyah rahmatullahi alayhi says on Judgment Day you will cry instead of tears blood for the days you wasted. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu says, Wallahi, every day the sun is risen upon, our iman, our faith did not increase, and our knowledge did not increase, it was not a good day. Why? إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. Indeed, the one that are God-fearing, that are conscious of Allah, those who seek knowledge, know. You know why? The more you know that you don't know. وَاللَّهُ فَوْقَ ذِي كُلٍّ عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is most knowledgeable of all. If you understand the fact of that your soul is leaving your body as a drop of water or snatched out, the choice is up to you. As if that plane you're taking off, your soul is leaving your body, and now your soul is leaving and you're looking at yourself in the ground and people are crying over you. And you cannot go back, and everything you worked for in this life looks so insignificant, so minute that you don't really care for it anymore, and you cannot take it with you. يا أبا ذر احكم السفينة فإن البحر عميق واشدد الشراع فإن الريح شديد وأكثر الزاد فإن السفر طويل وأخلص النية فإن الناقد بصير. O Abu Dhar, perfect the ship. Indeed, the ocean is deep. Tighten your sail. Indeed, the winds are strong. Increase your sustenance. Indeed, the journey is long. And purify your intentions. Indeed, Allah overwatches over you. So I ask you, my dear brothers and sisters, to have a goal. Your goal, I'm repeating, let your secret life be better than your public life. We ask Allah to make the last words that we say to be La ilaha illallah. The best actions of deeds are last actions of deeds. And the best days, the days that we meet Allah subhanahu jalla fi'ula. And again, I ask Allah subhanahu jalla fi'ula as He gathers here in this dunya, to gather us with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa akhir da'wan, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa sallam ala alihi wa sahbihi wa tabi'een. Jazakumullah anna khayra wa assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.